The British Army's plan to reinvent its frontline combat power around the Boxer 8x8 has hit a wall, and the shock is reverberating through its core warfighting formations. Boxer, procured as the Mechanized Infantry Vehicle (MIV), was intended to deliver a protected, mobile, modular platform to replace aging fleets such as Mastiff and Warrior. In theory, it was the cornerstone of a modernized 3rd, UK, division built to fight high-intensity wars alongside Challenger tanks, long-range fires, attack aviation, and digital command networks. In practice, schedule slippage and delivery complications have left that vision hanging in midair. According to defense sources, hundreds of Boxers expected to equip key battalions have not been fielded to operational units on time. While official messaging remains cautiously optimistic, citing supply chain disruption, industrial ramp-up issues and ongoing trials, the impact on the force structure is immediate and severe. Formations that were supposed to transition onto Boxer are being redirected onto tracked platforms from the Ajax family, notably the Ares variant. On paper, that sounds like a flexible adjustment. In reality, it has thrown planning, training, logistics and doctrine into disarray. Ares was conceived as a specialist tracked carrier and reconnaissance support vehicle, not as a direct one-for-one infantry fighting vehicle replacement. When units that had prepared for a wheeled, highly mobile, modular Boxer formation are abruptly told to reorganize around Ares, the friction is enormous. Crews must be retrained, maintenance chains restructured, tactical SOPs rewritten, and integration with other capabilities rethought. Insiders describe the atmosphere in some units as disbelief turning into open frustration. Behind closed doors, officers and NCOs are left trying to reconcile an uncomfortable truth: the platform now being pushed forward to fill the gap lacks the punch traditionally expected from a frontline infantry carrier. Where Warrior provided a 30mm cannon backed by a coaxial 7.62mm machine gun, Ares relies on remote weapon stations mounting a 7.62mm or 12.7mm machine gun, or a 40mm automatic grenade launcher. That is adequate for self-defense and suppressive fire, but far from ideal for fighting through defended positions or accompanying main battle tanks in the most lethal segments of the battlefield. British Army statements underline that Ares can support dismounted troops, including teams armed with Javelin anti-tank missiles. Critics counter that this shifts too much of the offensive burden onto exposed infantry while the vehicle itself lacks the organic, turreted firepower associated with modern infantry fighting vehicles. The result, they warn, is a force that moves like an armored formation but hits like a lightly armed one. The timing of this confusion is particularly sensitive. After years of controversy, the Ajax program itself has only just begun clawing back political and military confidence, with milestones declared and initial vehicles moving toward frontline units. At the same moment that ministers are selling Ajax as proof that UK land modernisation is finally back on track, the Boxer delay is broadcasting the opposite message: fragmentation, improvisation, and a force architecture being redesigned on the fly. At the conceptual level, the situation exposes a deeper tension inside British land doctrine. One camp has long argued for Boxer-style wheeled formations as the backbone of a highly deployable, survivable, networked force, able to cover vast distances rapidly, ideal for deterrence missions on NATO's eastern flank and responsive crisis deployments. Another camp favors concentrating on heavy tracked combat groups built around Challenger and Ajax variants, maximizing protection and combined arms lethality even at the cost of strategic mobility. By diverting key 3rd Division units from Boxer back onto tracked Ares, the Army appears, intentionally or not, to be tilting toward a track-centric approach. But this shift is happening reactively, driven by industrial and schedule failure rather than by a clean, deliberate strategic reset. For soldiers in the affected battalions, this is not an abstract doctrinal argument. It touches everything: which simulators they train on, what spares they stock, how many recovery assets they need, what routes they can use, how they fight in urban environments, and how confidently they can stand against peer adversaries equipped with modern IFVs and integrated drone reconnaissance fires complexes. Until Boxer is delivered at scale, integrated, and underpinned by a stable long-term concept of operations, the British Army's flagship warfighting division is forced into a patchwork solution. Ares fills some gaps, but not all. Warrior is on its way out. Boxer is late. Ajax is still politically fragile. The result is a period of vulnerability that London can ill afford at a time when European land warfare is being rewritten in real time. What was supposed to symbolize the arrival of a new era of British mechanized capability has, for now, become a case study in how procurement delays and doctrinal indecision can generate turbulence where an army most needs clarity, in its primary fighting echelon.